Before the world awakens, one hunter is already searching. Unlike most birds of prey, the osprey doesn't hunt on land. Its entire life depends on reading the language written across the surface of water. From nearly 30 meters above, those remarkable eyes detect a movement that most predators would never even notice. Then comes the decision. No hesitation. Gravity becomes the first weapon. Success lasts only a heartbeat. Now the challenge changes. From catching the fish to keeping it. Every fish is turned headfirst in flight. A simple adjustment that saves precious energy on every journey home. High above the shoreline, two tiny lives are waiting. Every successful hunt means another day of survival. The hunt is over. But the real purpose of every catch is only beginning. In an osprey family, every role matters. One hunts, one feeds. Together, they build the future. For an osprey parent, there is no finish line. As long as hungry beaks remain in the nest, the hunt begins again. Just days ago, they could barely lift their heads. Now every sunrise brings visible change. Growth in the wild waits for no one. Protection is as important as food. A few minutes of shelter can mean the difference between strength and exhaustion. The chicks already recognize the silhouette of success. Every returning parent brings another chance to survive. Feathers replace fluff one tiny step at a time. Hidden beneath that soft coat, the next generation of hunters is slowly taking shape. Long before an osprey can fly, it must first learn to trust the wind. Every wing beat is practice for a journey that cannot be postponed. Strength isn't built in the air. It begins here, one determined wing beat after another. Every great flyer starts the same way, with a leap measured in centimeters, not kilometers. Confidence arrives quietly. One successful landing changes everything. Failure is part of every hunter's story. Missing today's fish is simply another lesson for tomorrow. A hunter's greatest weapon isn't strength, it's knowing where to look. Every miss teaches something. Distance, speed, timing. Nature never wastes a lesson. For a split second, success was within reach. But the lake rewards precision, not enthusiasm. This time, everything comes together. The first fish is small, but the achievement is enormous. From this moment on, survival no longer belongs entirely to the parents. A new hunter has earned its place above the water. One morning, the nest is no longer the destination. It becomes the place the young hunter chooses to leave. Every journey begins with independence. There are no shortcuts now, only instinct, sharpened by experience. The awkward beginner has disappeared. In its place flies a hunter shaped by patience, practice, and persistence. The family remains, but the bond begins to change. Nature prepares every generation for a life of its own. Every master of the sky begins as a single uncertain chick, and somewhere beyond this horizon, another extraordinary journey is already waiting. The lake that once felt like the entire world is now only one stop on a much greater journey. An osprey is born with more than wings. It carries an ancient map written into instinct. Skill is no longer borrowed from experience. It now belongs entirely to the hunter. Every successful hunt writes another chapter in a life shaped by freedom rather than certainty. Some birds inherit a territory. The osprey inherits an entire world, and every horizon invites another extraordinary adventure. Thousands of kilometers later, instinct brings the traveler home. Some places are never forgotten. What once sheltered a chick now becomes the foundation for another family. The cycle quietly begins again. Nature repeats its greatest stories, never exactly the same, yet always familiar. From one generation to the next, the osprey reminds us that survival is more than strength. It is memory. The story never truly ends. Each spring, another generation opens its eyes to the same sky. Every hunt begins with patience. Every successful dive keeps an ancient promise between parent and chick. The greatest hunters are remembered not for what they catch, but for what they pass on. One family, one lake, one season, yet a story repeated across continents for thousands of years. This is AVIORA, where every wing beat tells a true story. Join us in the next episode of Warriors of the Sky. The breeding season has ended. But another challenge, even greater than raising a family, is quietly approaching. For months they lived alone. Now an ancient instinct begins drawing distant travelers toward the same invisible highway. Ahead lies a journey stretching thousands of kilometers. Every wing beat carries the memory of generations before. Even during migration, survival cannot pause. Every successful hunt becomes fuel for the next horizon. Mountains, forests, and oceans become stepping stones. To an osprey, the map of the world is written in wind. The longest journeys aren't powered by strength alone. The wisest travelers let the sky do part of the work. Migration isn't a vacation. Every successful catch simply buys enough energy for the next 1,000 kilometers. Nature never guarantees calm skies. Survival belongs to those who adapt before the storm arrives. Even after the hardest flight, the reward often appears just beyond the horizon. Thousands of kilometers from home, the hunter remains exactly the same. Skill travels farther than memory. Every year, an invisible compass calls the osprey home. Across continents, the journey begins once again. After thousands of kilometers, the destination is astonishingly precise. Home has been waiting all along. Every successful migration ends where another family story is about to begin. Whether young or old, every hunt still demands absolute precision. Nature never stops asking for excellence. The osprey teaches us that true mastery is never a destination. It is a journey repeated, season after season. Every journey across the sky reminds us that the greatest stories are the ones nature has been telling for millions of years. And if this story inspired you, join AVIORA and subscribe for more extraordinary bird documentaries. Our next journey is already taking flight.